Hi, everybody. How are you today? I hope that you're enjoying this beautiful day, as I certainly am. And what a lovely day it's been. I mean, all of the nice weather, despite the fact that we've had all these tornadoes and these severe thunderstorms and everything. And Lord knows it's been a mess. And before I even get into the topic or anything else, I just want to send good thoughts and well wishes out to all those whose lives have been impacted terribly as a result of all of these tragic weather related occurrences that have taken place in just the last 2 to 3 months of this year. I mean, there has been a whole lot going on lately with regards to the weather. And I think a lot of people are saying that it has something to do with climate change, and that could very well be the case. But whatever the case is, I certainly hate to see people, dealing with what they're dealing with. I mean, homes being destroyed, vehicles overturned, and losing everything. But most of all, lives being lost. I mean, because all the other stuff can be replaced. You can get another house, you can get another car, you can get more clothes and shoes, furniture and appliances, TVs, all that stuff can be replaced. But when a person is gone, that's it. They can't be replaced. And so we just want to send out our love and our prayers and our sincerest condolences to all those who have lost family members and friends and neighbors and what have you in these tragic storms and tornadoes and other terrible situations that have taken place over the last few weeks and months. Please know that your families and all of you are in our hearts. And so with that being said, I want to welcome you to another episode of TJ's Topics. And of course, I am TJ. So glad to be with you on today. And I tell you, it's kind of hard to sit here and do this show today. And when you're thinking about all that, I mean, because there's so much going on, and not just here and in my home state of Arkansas or here in the Mid-South, where I'm a lifelong resident, but across the country and around the world, there are so many things going on. And it's really devastating. Think of all the violence and all of the school shootings, like out in Nashville. And then it's like every time you turn around, it's always something. Every time you turn on the TV, it's bad news. And I don't know about you, but I get tired of bad news all the time. I like good news. I really do. And that's one reason why I try to do these shows. That's one of the things that sort of led me to start this podcast, because I don't like to just sit up and focus on negativity all the time. I like to focus on positive things as well. I became sensitive to various vibrations as a teenager. Particularly when I was around 15 years old, that's when I noticed that I had developed the gift of discernment, whereby I was able to tell when something pertaining to an individual or place or thing wasn't right. I could tell because I got the feeling right here in the pit of my stomach where they said that the soul resides. Well, I do believe that there is a part of us, which is the real us, that lives on forever. But temporarily, they occupy these avatars, or what we call bodies, that we walk around in each day. And once these avatars have been shedded, then the true us will be revealed and will return to the source from which they came. But that's not really what I came to talk about today. But I felt that it was important that I shared that little bit of information. But what I want to talk about for a few minutes is spring cleaning. Or should I say spring cleaning in more ways than one. You know, we are in the month of April now, and in the month of April, of course, you know, we are well into the season of spring, the season that brings about new life, new beginnings, and a new hope for all of us. And we expect to reach greater heights as we progress throughout this new season, as well as throughout the remainder of the year. Now, there is one thing that I would like to mention regarding spring cleaning, and that is, you know, when we're doing our spring cleaning, we often try to rid ourselves of unwanted items, you know, things that we really have no more use for. When we think of spring cleaning, oftentimes it involves chores such as packing up and giving away old clothes, dusting furniture, sweeping and mopping floors, vacuuming rugs and carpets, washing windows, and so much more. It can also consist of decluttering your home by getting rid of unwanted items. However, there is another kind of spring cleaning that people should consider, and that is getting rid of people in our lives who don't really serve any true purpose. You know, many of us have walked around on this earth for a long time, trying to clean the folk who we know deep down inside who don't mean us any good. They don't have our best interests at heart. They have demonstrated to us time and time again that they are not really our friends. But rather than dismiss them from our lives, we've tried to hold on to them, thinking that somehow they're going to change. But as Dr. Maya Angelou once said, when a person shows you who they are, believe them. And these people, at one time or another, or perhaps on many occasions, have shown us exactly who they are. And yet, for some reason, we chose not to believe them because we felt like if we could get to them and if we could keep working on them, or, you know, as a lot of these church folks say, keep praying for them and and stuff like that, And though it's been said that prayer changes things, I know from firsthand experience that if a person or a group of people is not willing to get up and take some kind of action, all the prayers in the world won't do any good. They just won't help. So, therefore, we can't just keep on going through the motions and hoping that people will change when we know deep in our hearts that they never will, because they've shown us who they are. You know, they've even told us in so many words who they are. A lot of times people will throw out little hints trying to let us know that they are not worth the time that we invest in them. But yet, sometimes people can be so ignorant until they fail to notice all the red flags. And that's how it is in friendships and all sorts of relationships, whether it be marriages or, if you're just in a committed relationship, even on jobs, co-workers and stuff. Because people at work can show you who they are as well. And I know about that too. But one thing I know is that it's important that we pay attention to all of the little signs around us when it comes to dealing with folk. Because it's those little signs that will indicate exactly who those people are and whether or not we need to be fooling with them. So ever since I was 15 years old up to now, and I'm 43. So you're talking about almost 30 years of operating in the gift of discernment. I've been able to pick out those who I can feel comfortable communicating with and involving myself with, dealing with on a regular basis, spending time with, hanging out with, going places with, and all of that. And over the last 3 decades, I've been able to discern when it's time for me to walk away from certain people, certain places, and certain things. And I have no problem doing that, as I've done it on many occasions. And, it's hard sometimes to walk away from a person, a place, or a thing that you've been involved with for a long period of time. But the universe has a way of revealing to us when the time has come for us to walk away. And it may hurt at the beginning, but we'll be all the better for it in the long run. It reminds me of that song by David Ruffin, who used to sing with the Temptations. He had a song out one time talking about walk away from love. And that song is one of the songs that really impacted my spirit almost 10 years ago, when it was time for me to walk away from a place, namely a church that was my childhood church, by the way, where I had, been baptized and everything. Then I reunited there as an adult and became involved in the ministry, sung in the choir and served as a Sunday school secretary and was involved with the prison ministry and even helped out with the Senior Saints ministry, by preparing dishes and stuff for fellowship dinners after church, after service, and different things like that. But, one of my personal philosophies in life is when a season in your life has ran its course, there is no need to try to stretch it out any further. And so when you come to a point in your life when you realize that where you are or who you're with is no longer benefiting you and is no longer a help to you, but instead it has now become a hindrance to you and your personal growth, then chances are it's about time for you to look for the nearest exit. And that's one reason why anytime you go somewhere, it's always good to case the place. Let me say it again. Anytime you go somewhere, it's always good to case the place. Always look around. Check out the environment and see exactly where the nearest exit is. Because in case something pops off, hoping that it doesn't, but in the event that it does, you want to know exactly how to get the hell out of there. You want to know exactly where the nearest exit is. And one thing is for sure, you don't need anyone hindering you from escaping, because people can be a serious stumbling block in every aspect of your life, but only if you allow it. But when you operate in the gift of discernment, then you won't have that problem. And so that's what I came to talk about today regarding spring cleaning in more ways than one. And as we progress further into this season of spring, I trust that many of you out there will be doing not only spring cleaning in your home or your office or your garage, get rid of junk in your garage and stuff like that, but you will be doing a personal spring cleaning as well, in that you're taking inventory of the people in your life who are not really benefiting you any kind of way. They're not leading you into prosperity. They're not trying to help you overcome obstacles in your life, whether it be bad habits, whether it be a whole lot of unnecessary drama, friends who have let you down and who have shown you in more ways than one that they're not your friend and they don't care anything about you to begin with. Family members who you can't trust, because in case you didn't know, kinfolk are the worst